What did a child say or do that made you think, this kid might be a future serial killer? My sort of friend's older brother yelled Hulk smash and threw a few-week-old kitten at a wall. He was 9 at the time, I think. Fortunately, the kitten survived and had no more injuries than a mild concussion, but they say animal cruelty at a young age is a sign of psychopaths and serial killers. When I was growing up, another kid looked at a praying mantis and said, "Why are you praying? Nobody is going to help you," in a very scratchy whisper. He proceeded to kill it, which made me cry. Fast forward 28 years, he is in jail. I went over to this kid's house to babysit and he asked if we could go up into his treehouse. I love treehouses, so of course I say yes. We get up there and there's a wall of full clear glass mason jars with supposedly nothing in them. Okay, weird, but I'm getting paid, so it doesn't really matter. His eyes light up when he sees the jars and drags me over to the shelves. "This is my bug collection," he says. "That makes more sense, but there wasn't any sticks or leaves or dirt or anything, huh? That's so cool. How about we go get some sticks and things to help them feel more comfortable?" "Yeah," the kid agreed. We go into the yard and pick up some sticks and leaves and climb back up again. I give him one of the jars and tell him how to do it carefully, but that would let the air in and give them food, he says. Yeah, if they don't have food and air, they'll die," I point out. He looks up at me, calmly and coolly, and just says in the most monotone serial killer voice ever, "I know, that's the point." This kid was watching insects slowly suffocate and starve to death, knowingly. No, called the mom and went home without any pay. Demon child, I tell you. My nephew took a litter of kittens, one by one, to a kiddie pool and drowned them. He was laughing while outside playing, so my sister, his mother, didn't think he was doing anything wrong. He was 6 at the time, he is 8 now, and I still feel uneasy around him. I used to teach preschool, and one of the kids would encourage the others to break the rules, then watch the aftermath. For example, one of the sweetest kids in the class hit another student, and when I asked why he did it, he said because X told me to, and X was just sitting at the table watching the whole thing. Whenever X misbehaved himself, he would grab onto my legs, flash his eyes, and say, "Miss, I love you." It was really creepy, and it's unusual for a kid to be that manipulative at 3. Met a kid at a mental hospital who openly told the class that he dealt with anger by buying goldfish from Walmart, putting one in a glass cup by itself, and cussing at it so it knew what was coming. Then he would stab it with a fork in front of the others. One kid in my class was whispering in another language. When we asked him what he was saying, he said he was cursing another kid to be killed by the saints that night. He said in his own words, they will gouge his eyes out. We were in 2nd grade. This kid is still crazy. Sometimes I genuinely believe my sister will grow up to be some sort of psychopath. Our mom is a real piece of shit, and she has seen a lot, so it's not her fault, but she's done some pretty crazy shit. One time, my brother broke her tablet, and she just kept on screaming at the top of her lungs, "Are you ready to fucking die? Are you ready to die?" She beat him up pretty bad too. She's also pulled a knife out on me before, but apparently that's common for siblings to do. But when she's really pissed off at me, I seriously think she's gonna use it sometimes. I used to stay up when I was younger and feared that she would literally try to kill me in my sleep. She also kinda lacks remorse for people. In fact, now that I think about it, I've only seen her get upset or cry if it was about her. I was at my friend's house playing on his Xbox, and there was a bird outside of the window that was annoying everyone. So his 10-year-old brother killed the bird, put it on the floor, drew a circle around it in blood, and started laughing. Working in a daycare and had one child try to push a smaller child down the stairs for crying. When he was told that pushing someone down the stairs would hurt a lot, he just smiled and said, "I know." This kid goes out of his way to hurt other children and shows no remorse. I was once teaching a drama workshop and had one kid kick another kid. I pulled the kicker to the side and told him to apologize. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "I don't know how to feel sorry." One of my sister's kids came into the living room with a doll and a plastic knife, laid the doll onto the ground, and proceeded to stab the doll with the knife repeatedly. The kid was 4 at the time. I have no idea where he got the idea from or who thought it would be a good idea to buy him a toy knife. Needless to say, I'm remaining suspicious about him until he has developed into a proper human and can be judged properly. My youngest apparently told another child who was annoying at her nursery, "I'm going to go to your house while you're asleep and stab your parents to death." She was 4. When I confronted her about what she said, she laughed with malevolent glee. A neighborhood kid was on top of me, played choking me, but then snapped and was legitimately trying to choke me. Crazy look in his eyes, both hands around my neck and jerking up and down like my head was banging against the ground up and down. His dad yelled out his and his sister's name for dinner like usual, so he gets up like nothing happened and strolls off to dinner. The kid who lives across the street from my mom's house is definitely worth sharing on this post. He's done many things, but I'm just gonna share a few. One day his mom was taking a nap, so he decided to light a fire in the middle of the house. He ended up setting the curtains and a love seat on fire. He also took a pressure washer to his foot on purpose, cut his whole foot up. And the one thing that still fucks with me is that once he asked his dad if he could kill their kitten midnight so they could get a puppy. He's 8. When you see the cold, hard calculating eyes of an adult in the face of a child, it's bloody spooky. My sister had it, and she'd murder a child in its sleep if it suited her purpose, and she could get away with it, and feel nothing. She has the look, and now her daughter has it too. We were at the beach, and I had caught some little fish to show the kids. When I turned around, one of them was slowly peeling the skin off, starting from the gills. His expression was terrifying. He also sits up screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night in his sleep, doesn't wake up. He talks about death a lot. He's the next Norman Bates.